What's hinging? Anybody know? Huh? Bending. Yeah, see, look at that, right? Just like this right here. I will tell you right now, teaching someone how to hinge well is the hardest thing to do. And once you learn how to do it well, it's the easiest thing to do because we do it all the time, but we often do it wrong. People will come in and they'll say to me, oh, I can do anything, but I can't do deadlifts. Why? Because deadlifts hurt my back. And I think to myself, oh, wow, okay. Well, you ever had a suitcase on the ground that you needed to pick up? Yeah. Did you pick it up? Yeah. Well, guess what? You just did a deadlift. Understanding how to get those muscles to work synchronistically, to bend down and grab something. When you tell me it's destroying your back, you're telling me that you're not using your glutes. You're telling me that you don't understand how to create IAP, intra-abdominal pressure. You're telling me that the coordination of your muscle systems is not very good. Because if you learned how to do it well, we wouldn't have any problems. So let's talk about the hinge for a moment, okay? There's two ways that we can do this. The first one is that I could just bend straight over from my hips, keep a nice flat back, and my hips stay up nice and high. However, I'm not gonna be walking around the house or the mall doing that, right? Picking things up off the floor. That will garner some unnecessary attention. So the second way that we would go about doing this is that we would hinge through the hips, and once we clear the knees, hands clear the knees, now we go back into a squat, and we start sitting down, and we grab and hold. Does that make sense? So release the kettlebell for a moment. I want you to stand back up. When we are hinging, our first motion is to bend from the hips until our hands clear the knees. Once we get to the knees, we go right back into the squat, and we grab the kettlebell. Okay, perfect. All right, let go for just a second. So the next thing that we want to do is we want to create tension, and we want to take the slack out of the motion. So I've got my feet set up. I want to get down nice and low, but I don't want to be here where I'm rounding or bending my arms. I want to be tight. So I start pulling pressure up into the kettlebell until I feel everything turn on. Once I feel everything turn on, now I'm going to go back to the very beginning. Breathe in, brace, apply pressure. Exhale and exert, drive, stand up. Does that make sense? So, right, Dr. Alm calls it ICE, right? Initiate, contract, and then execute. So we would do this. We would go down with the hands and the hips so we clear the knees. We reach down and grab the kettlebell. Tight grip, good squeeze. And I want you to think about your feet, big toe, pinky toe, heel. Apply that knee pressure out till you feel your glutes fire up. And then if you've got a 50-pound kettlebell, I want 49 pounds of upward pressure on that kettlebell. You feel everything turn on. You're pushing into the floor, your quads are on, your glutes are on, your back muscles are tight, your lats are working. Hold it, take a big breath in. Exhale, let it out. Release your hands and stand up. No kettlebell. So, I think you need a heavier kettlebell. I think you need a heavier kettlebell. Good. Okay, so, talk to me about it. What's that feel like? It's hard just being down there. You didn't give up. You came back. You're doing another round. Don't worry. But I understand, like the fatigue sets in, right? Okay, so really being aware, we've got to be good down low in what's called an isometric contraction. Just being able to hold that weight without needing to move. So we should be training that, okay? You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, so we're going to go at it again, and we're going to actually go through the motion now. One thing that I want to bring your awareness to, everybody sees this line right through here. Okay, I want you to evaluate for yourself. When I step up to the kettlebell, I want to make sure that the big toes, if I were to cut my toes off with the handle of the kettlebell, that they're aligned with that. Because I need that kettlebell to be underneath me. If the kettlebell is out in front of me, and I'm reaching down to grab it here, and this is going to be a straight deadlift, I got to lean forward, round my back, and do all sorts of unnecessary things when the weight only needs to go up and down. So I step myself forward, forearm runs along the inner thigh, hinge till I clear the knees, squat till I grab tight hold. I go ahead and breathe in, brace and apply that upward pressure. I want you to hold, okay? You've got 1 pound less pressure up than what the kettlebell weight is. Breathe in again, And then exhale, drive through the legs, push the ground away from you, stand up and hold. Now, holding that weight in front of you, we should feel pull through the shoulders. We're shining the chest out. We're squeezing through the glutes, flexing the quads. We're nice and strong and tall. Breathe in at the top. Brace, same thing. Hinge to the hips. Lower to the squat. Release it to the floor. Pause right here. Upward pressure. Breathe in. Good. Brace. Squeeze the glutes. Drive through the floor. Exhale out. Shoo. Breathe in. Brace. And hinge through the hips. Soft bend the knees. Squat to the floor. One more. Upward pressure. Breathe in. Good. Brace. And drive up, 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 up. Good. Lock out. Breathe in. Good. Brace. Relax those shoulders down. Don't shrug the ears. Lower through the hinge. Right through the squat. Release. And stand up.